What up, guys? Reeling in the outdoors here with you guys. It is August 11th. We literally got 5 days until the opener of the pink season on the Puyallup. We have talked about tying leaders, what to do, prepare, river etiquette, and so on and so forth. Since we are as close as we are to the season opener, I'm going to talk about how to detect a bite when you're flossing down there on the Puyallup to better help you guys understand or try and get you guys on the right track of feeling the bite and catching fish on the river. So, let's get down to it. As we talked about, you will be casting 45 degrees upriver for the flossing. When you throw 45 degrees upriver, what's going to happen? Let's just imagine this is our setup, our leader and bead and so on and so forth, is our main line. So what's going to happen is you're going to throw upriver your cannonball, pencil leads, slinky weight, whatever you got going on, Dave's Tangle Free. Whatever weight you're going to be having down here is going to be ticking across the bottom. And what you're going to be feeling is the weight skipping across the bottom. It's going to be going like this across the river. It's going to be ticking across the bottom, floating. And you're going to feel your weight bounce off the bottom so often and so forth. The best way I can explain this to you is you'll be fishing, you'll feel your weight and everything, bouncing and taking off the bottom. Let's just imagine this barrel swivel is your weight. Well, it's going to be ticking across the bottom, and then all of a sudden you're not going to feel nothing. It's just, you're not going to feel nothing. You should reel down and set the hook at that point, because what has happened is the fish is swimming upriver and your stuff is going downriver, and the line gets in the fish's mouth as he's going, and the hook has finally gone up into the side of the fish's mouth. He doesn't realize he is hooked yet, but your weight has come off the bottom. So now it's just line and your lead sitting suspended where the fish is. Like I said, reel down and set the hook, because that's exactly what's going to happen. I guarantee you're going to have a fish. Or if you're running too heavy of lead, I recommend anything between a half ounce, maybe 3/4, the heaviest I would fish down over at the soccer fields that everyone talks about. Wipe the lens there. But anyways, if you run too heavy lead, you're gonna snag. That's gonna be another thing. What's gonna happen is if you're not feeling your lead tick across the bottom, is you might be snagged up. Don't set the hook too hard, but give it a good, lift on your rod and see what happens. You may have a tug back. If you feel a tug back, set the hook, because then there's a fish on. And then another way you can detect the bite is if your line's going down river and you're ticking across the bottom and everything, you're drifting, right? And then all of a sudden your line, let's just imagine this is in the water, your line stops. It's going to be like this in the current. Reel down and set the hook. That too is also an indicator that you have a fish on and the setup is in the fish's mouth, so on and so forth. Set that hook. Hook sets are free unless you tangle up and you break your line and leader, so on and so forth. Just retie and get back out there. But it being pink season, I guarantee you'll reel down. Ouch. You'll reel down, hooks are sharp, and you'll have a fish. I guarantee it. That's how thick it's going to be this year. Another way that a lot of people detect the bite is they watch their rod tip. They can tell when they're skipping across the bottom, and then when the rod taps, they have a fish. When you fish long enough, you can distinct what's bottom, If you roll off a fish's back, if you get tail whacked, or yeah, you're just rolling off a fish and you're not getting nothing, you'll be able, if you fish long enough, you'll definitely tell. Now, a key or a tip I suggest for you guys to also better help yourselves detect the bite, because you might accidentally hook a fish while you're doing this, just trying to get dialed in, is make a couple casts. Distinguish your lane, your fishing, the hole, what rock is there, what limb is there. Feel what you are fishing, and I guarantee you're going to hook up in some fish when you can distinguish what's bottom, what's going to be a fish, and so on and so forth. You guys will kill it. Also follow the tide charts. The tide charts also help, and the biometric pressure also helps. If the biometric pressure is flexing hard and is not set for 24 hours, fishing is going to be a little bit tough. Tide also plays a big part down at the soccer fields where everyone's fishing at, because it too will bring in fresh fish and so on and so forth. But that's the best way I can detect the bite, or help you guys detect the bite. I'm a seasoned fisherman. I can feel when I'm fishing. I know what I'm feeling for, and I know what I'm setting the hook on. But those are going to be my 3 best tips to help you guys into hooking a fish. Once again, your guys' line will be ticking along, and then all of a sudden you won't feel your lead, ticking across the bottom or anything like that. It'll just be up off the bottom, suspended in the water. Fish has it in his mouth. Set the hook, reel down and set the hook. Or you're floating down and everything, you're feeling your weight, tick across the bottom, and then, like I said, your line comes to a stop in the river. You'll be drifting like this, and then all of a sudden your line will stop. Reel down and set the hook. You'll have a fish on, I guarantee it. And or, like I said, you'll watch your rod tip, you'll be ticking across the bottom like this, tit, 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 tit. Then all of a sudden, you'll tell. You can see it from rock, because it'll be fast tap from tit, 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 because it's all river rock along the bottom. They're not big boulders where they're going tap, 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 unless you're using extremely, lightweight and you're not even hitting the bottom. But yeah, once you see that rod go boop, 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 set the hook, because you'll have a fish. And yeah, that's my tips for you guys to detect when you guys have a fish on at the Puyallup River down at the soccer holes for this pink year season. And or I've seen it too, people just don't know what they're doing. They're out there fishing and flossing and they can't tell they have a bite until literally the fish flies out of the water with their setup, and they go to reel in and they realize they have a fish on. That too is another way that you guys will detect if you guys have a fish on. But yeah, 5 days until opener season. I can't wait. It's my birthday that day on the 16th. I'm excited. I'm hoping for a couple birthday Chinooks. I'm here tying up some setups, getting ready for the season. I got my bead box and corky box out with, my weights and hooks out here, or swivels and hooks and weights. I got a couple glow beads tied up for in the morning in the AM. A couple orange satin beads here for maybe mid-afternoon, or once that sun breaks up over the horizon, get some color in the water. I'm trying to look for a pink bead from Brad's, but I will switch to also pink, because it's pinks. They'll hit anything pink, so on anyone says. But yeah, I will either switch up to pink or orange mid-afternoon, and then I will sometimes run this orange pattern with glitter in it also too. Seems to be getting in there and getting hits from fish. But yeah, that is what I am running so far. I'm going to be running a lot of beads. I had a lot of success on beads. I feel like beads are going to be it this year, especially the spot that I will be fishing. Getting tied up. I got quite a few more to go, but that is how I distinguish what's a bite, what's not, what's a snag. Until then, I don't know if I want to do another video, or if you guys have a suggestion of a video you guys want me to do. I feel like I covered the basics for the year, unless you guys want me to go over gear in a tackle bag that you guys should have, like for basic minimum. Let me know. Yeah, but please like, share, and subscribe if you guys like these videos, if you find them helpful to you. If you have a new fisherman that's going to be getting in the season, or if you guys are a new family that's getting into the new pink season, I highly suggest watching these videos that I'm creating for you guys, making for you guys, because it's going to help you guys get out there on the water, get fish, and possibly stay out of other people's way while enjoying yourself down there on the river and catching fish. But until then, I'll see you guys Saturday for the Puyallup opener. Peace out, and tight lines, and fish on.